Hello and welcome to another edition of Cars Your Dad Drove. Well, this week we're in a very special location. As you can see, it's December, it's cloudy, it's misty, it's meh. But here we are anyhow at the former RAF West Malling, and this is now Costa Coffee, but it used to be the control tower in the Second World War up until the 1980s, and these days there's no runway to be seen, as you can see, because it's all housing. Everything is complete housing here today. But there we are, that's progress for you. But on the subject of progress, we have bought ourselves a little car for Christmas, and it's somewhere in this car park because we've just done the deal and we have literally just got it. We have just got it, and the seller has just left here at RAF West Malling, or what was. It's here. Can you see what it is yet? It is, of course, a 1990 Austin Metro Clubman edition. Yay! First impressions of picking this car up is it's in rather good, clean condition. There are a couple of marks on the car, as to be expected for something that's so old. Well, at least it's 31 now, isn't it already? 1990, heavens. But nevertheless, it is in good, clean, straight condition, and that's the kind of thing that we are looking for. A little bit of history as well about the car is that it's a two-owner vehicle from new. So originally was, we understand, a demonstrator for Beadles, who are based in Eltham in London, and then it was sold to, realistically, its one and only owner, and it lived in an underground car park for the last 6 years, and it's now seeing the light of day. So a bit of fading on the bonnet there, as you can possibly see, probably because of where it's been under the ground, so to speak. But the rest of it is in really good condition, and we'll take a look round now on the car. As you can see, Beadles plate, lovely. Now, this is the main issue area here. A little bit of rust just coming through, but on the whole, it's a nice little white Metro. There you are. Here's Beadles and Clubman edition. Hurrah! I think the Clubman edition only came out in 1990. It was another one of those limited editions. Anyway, this is always the danger of filming in public, when you get people coming up to you and stopping to talk to you about the car. It's like, yeah, just in the middle of the video at the moment. Don't think Hubnut gets this issue. Anyway, so yeah, here we are, a 1990 little white Metro. Moss security as well, so good aftermarket. And it's just starting to bubble out now by the looks of it. So that's something that we will have to look at going forward. But the sills and everything, and the wheel arches look fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And that was one of the things that really, convinced me to go with this particular little white Metro, because of that. The condition of the car overall, even in the fuel filler cap, yeah, there's a little bit in there, and it definitely needs cleaning up, but it's not too bad at all. This is good old solid British engineering. There we go. Let's have a look inside and we'll see what you get. Actually, getting inside is a little on the difficult side. Nevertheless, there we go, 27,480 miles from new. Not bad for 31 years old. I think my Fiesta, which is only 2, is just more than that. You even get a lovely digital clock in the Clubman. Hurrah! Whether the lights switch on enough to be able to see it working, I'm not sure. But, yeah, there we go. Yeah, not bad. You actually get a digital clock. We've got a number of lights on here and so forth as well. Obviously directional indicators. We've got the full beam. We've got the normal lights. Towing a caravan. So if you do fancy your little 1 litre Metro, which this is, towing a caravan, you can, according to the dashboard. I wouldn't recommend it because I don't think you go very far or very fast, but you can nevertheless. We've also got for pressure for low oil there, parking handbrake if there's an issue with the battery, or your brakes or brake pads. So that's pretty good, isn't it? Pretty good set of warning lights for something, you know, 30 years ago. And let's face it, that, you know, this was a basic model. Yes, you probably get those sort of things now, certainly, you know, with your brakes and pads and so forth, but and service indicators and things. But yeah, 1990, I'd say that's pretty good. We've got some other lights, or buttons rather, for things over here. So we've got front fog lights, we've got rear window wipe, and we've obviously got a bit to put water. Yes, water on them as well. Then we've got different variants in speed, so you can go up or down and so forth, and do the front one or the rear one as well. And then if we go and look on the left hand side, if I can even get in there to see it, there we go. You can see that it's got all of the light elements and a horn as well. Gosh, amazing. But it turned the lights off because we don't actually want a flat battery, do we? There we go. Right, so you also get a lovely Philips radio cassette. So by this time, Austin Rover had done a deal with the Dutch company Philips, and Philips were fitted, I believe, into most of their cars, most of the products. And the Philips actually is a good unit, I have to say. It gives you a decent amount of sound. It's pretty easy to tune, so yeah, really quite happy with that. And obviously we get the obligatory Austin Rover mats as well. Tax disc holder is missing, but the seller assures me it is somewhere with the car, so we will have a bit of a look for that later on. And we'll have a look at the handbooks. Here we go. So it does come with a few bits and pieces, and there we go. So we've got a consumer guide, which probably tells us, I should think, all about the basic points of maintenance for the car, and you know, how you should get the best value from your new Austin Rover, as it was back in the day. There we go, consumer rights. If you're really not happy with the car, what to do about it. I'm sure a few people probably activated that. Yeah, motoring abroad, genuine parts, your dealer in you, and so forth. So quite an interesting little book, and actually in immaculate condition, as are all the handbooks. And here's the main handbook as well, Metro, because of course, as you well know, because you're going to be looking at this, you know all about the Metro anyway, so I don't plan to go into much history about it, but it's just one of those, same as the Maestro and the Montego by 1990, that it simply is just known by its model, whether it's Metro or Maestro or Montego. It's no longer an Austin Rover or even a Rover at this point. It's simply just Metro. We got a bit of an addendum for bits in there as well, so that's all good. And again, this is absolutely brand spanking new, or it looks like it anyway. You'd think that the pages would have yellowed by now, but nothing. So there we go. If you need to know a little bit more about your Metro, and how to change the fuses and what not to do, or how to do the right things, then you obviously need your handbook. And there we go, 4th edition, which is Austin Rover Motor Company, 1989. And then we've got finally the service book, so we can see in a second where this Metro came from. And again, 1989 there, even though it is a 1990 car. So we can see it came from Beadle's in Eltham, as I said earlier, in the high street. Those are the days, weren't they? We just walked into your local high street, picked up a pint of milk and bought yourself a motor car as well. We can see that back in 1990, when this was sold new, that Christine E. Wells sold it to Mr. Melboship. There we are. And he lived in Eltham as well. And obviously, don't go there. You can see it's a 5-door Metro in white as well. So, as we know, it is. So if we take a look, you get the service history. So there we go, stamped by Beadle's of Eltham, still there, Nissan garage now, I believe. So the first service was done at 972 miles on the 20th of August 1990. So it was a May 90 car, and just under 1,000 miles later the chap got it serviced. And then they go on, missed number 2, and it went straight to number 3. And you can see again, it was serviced at Beadle's at 4,600 miles. And again, at 8,700 miles another year later in 1992. It does say, though, that the next service was due at 2,600 miles. So I think you kind of missed that one slightly. And then up to 1998. And it was now getting serviced, as you can see, independently. But not too far away, and it done 15,500 miles by 1998. So started off quite high, but then really eased off, didn't it, in ownership, in terms of the mileage that we're being used. And unfortunately, that is all we've got. But as I said, it's now only on 27,000 miles, so clearly hasn't gone very far in the last few years. But yeah, it's a really good car. I'll show you as well very quickly in the boot. Never the biggest cars, were they, these Metros? Right, and there we are, the Beadles. Let's have a look in the boot. Now, would you look at that though, boot struts that actually work, that are 30 years old. Here we go. And if we have a look underneath, there we are, as you'd expect and hope for with a Metro. The original tyre, never used, and the original tools still in the polystyrene packaging, never used as well. Fantastic. That's what you're looking for when you're buying any old original car, isn't it? If it's got things like that. And of course, this is the rare 5-door, so you get an extra wicked window. Look at that, lovely little window in a brown seat belt. And lots of brown plastic. Yes, lovely brown plastic. But look, it's actually fairly roomy in the rear. You know, in comparison to your 3-door, you can see that you do get quite a bit of room. So fantastic, really. I still can't get over how well the boot works. There we go. So, there we go. Original mats, as I said. So there we are. That is the video, first day of picking up the little Metro. And what a great car it is as well. We're going to have a little drive of it shortly. That will be a video, I think, though, for another day, because it is starting to get a bit dark. But as you can see, it is a good, solid example of quite a good seller, really, wasn't it? The Austin Rover Metro. And it's a nice car. It even got a sunroof, look, in the Clubman edition. Hurrah! And I think this is a sun visor of some description. It's stuck on there with glue, so I'm assuming that it is of some sort. But yeah, it's really a good, high quality little family hatchback in the day. There we go. You can see there's lots of space in it, which is a good thing, I would say. And bit poverty spec probably still, in all honesty. You know, you probably want your cigar lighter as as the first owner possibly did, and you do get this really naff looking gear stick lever as well. They were a bit better, I think, on higher up model as HLE, Vandenplower and stuff, although Vandenplower had gone by 90. But yeah, generally it's a nice solid looking Metro. And as you can see, there we are, there's the control tower of RAF West Malling, where we agreed that we would meet to collect the car. And actually, I was watching an episode on ITV4, I think maybe last month, the month before, and it had an episode that was filmed right here in the control tower in the 80s. And I think the right-hand side, I might be wrong with this, so do feel free to post in the comment section, but I think on the right-hand side, the airfield itself was over here. And an aeroplane that Harry Makepeace was flying basically lost its pilot for whatever reason, and she needed to land it. And yeah, Dempsey was in the control tower telling her how to do it. And then as that was happening, Chief Inspector Spikings in his B-Reg Granada Mark II, and everybody screeched up to here to rescue, or at least try to rescue, Makepeace in some way. I don't quite know what they could have done, but nevertheless they did, and they went up and into the control tower. And yeah, there was this all airfield, even in the 80s out here, so it's worth finding it. It was in series 1, I think, which I think was filmed in 84, but it might have gone out in 85 originally. And you'll get a sense of this you know, this control tower in this airfield and what it used to look like. And there's some good bits and pieces on the internet as well about it, and on YouTube, in terms of the old airfield as well. So definitely worth exploring. These days it's home to lots of houses and a Waitrose, but and a Costa, of course, as we said. But I think you can go in the control tower. I think it has open days and things like that. So it's worth having a look at, and I probably will come back and have a look maybe in the spring, summer. But great. So there we go. Anyway, this is the day 1, hour 1 of picking up a lovely Austin Metro Clubman edition, 1 litre, 5-door, and I shall report on progress as we go forward. And obviously we will try to get the little bits of paint sorted out here and there, and get it ready for some shows that will be coming up, hopefully involving other members of the Metro Owners Club as well, which would be great, and I look forward to seeing everybody in 2022. But for now, that's the last video of this year, 2021. Stay tuned though for January, and I'm sure we'll do a few more Metro videos. Take care. Bye. Psh.